Have you ever found yourself in this really difficult position here where you have a real cut shot, a thin real cut shot from a very steep angle, and it's your last ball or your last ball to your key ball and you have no other option, and you do something like that, catches the rail early and miss horribly? And maybe you just want to do something like this instead, where you want to cut that ball cleanly down the rail no matter how tough it is. Or it could be this particular position here where you are putting the shot and you catch the rail early again, setting out the complete shot, but instead you want to be able to make shots like this here, cleanly down the rail. Or it could be a case where you have your cue ball wedged up into the corner pocket and you have a really tough putt here and you overcut, comes a little bit close, you sell out the game, but instead you want to be able to cut shots like this cleanly down the rail. Hey guys, what's up everyone, welcome back again to another video tutorial from the Apex Predator Billiards Training Club. My name is Apex Elenio, your aspiring professional pool player and pool instructor straight out of the small island of Jamaica. Now of course, in today's video tutorial, a very exciting one at that, we're going to be talking about the shaft aiming system mixed with the fractional ball aiming system, to which Shane Van Boening uses to putt most of some of the most difficult rail cut shots you can find yourself into. Now of course, I'm going to be breaking down this video into various sections, but particularly we're going to start off with our base shot of 45 degrees. Now I have a graph showing here on screen of what a 45 degree angle looks like and potentially will feel like. But what we're going to be doing here is that I'm going to be walking through the process of identifying when a particular shot is at a 45 degree angle. Now I'm putting my object ball at the most extreme position to which you may have to cut the shot here. I'm placing it about a quarter ball off the third diamond here, and once I have my object ball set up at that spot, I'm going to then find the parallel vertex to this here. Now I'm going to be counting 4 diamonds down, and from that spot, if I move my cue ball from that vertex of the square towards the aiming spot on the object ball, as long as my cue ball is on that line, then it's going to be a 45 degree cut. Now I have a diagram here on screen that shows what a square looks like, and each of those corners represents a vertex, to which represents the position of the cue ball, and the other vertex represents the position of the object ball. Now for a 45 degree cut shot, what Shane Van Boening does, and I've been watching Shane Van Boening since 2012, and there are other videos out there about a 45 degree cut shot and how you use your shaft to aim. The diagram here on screen is going to demonstrate to you how the shaft is divided into. Now the 2 red dots represents the edge to edge aiming, and that represents a 45 degree cut. The blue dots represents a 30 degree cut, and the black dot represents a 0 degree putt where you're dead straight in on the object ball. Now those vertical lines represents my shaft, and it's my shaft that I'm going to be using to aim at a certain section of the object ball. So if it's a 45 degree cut shot, I'm going to be aiming the red dot towards the very extreme edge of the object ball on my shaft. If it's a 30 degree cut, I'm going to be aiming in between the edge and the center of the cue ball towards the inside edge from the middle to the edge of my shaft. It's a very difficult system to theoretically explain, but once you have a hang of how the system is used, then you're gonna find that you're gonna get a lot of consistency with the result. Now I'm gonna be using just top spin here, just in between center and maximum high. And so what you're gonna see here is that I'm gonna be aiming, as you can see the graphics there into the top right hand side of my video here. You're gonna see where I'm aiming just the edge of the cue ball towards the very edge of the object ball. I'm using the extreme edge of my cube shaft here to aim towards that spot, and once you cut it cleanly, you're gonna find very consistent results here, and this is a 45-degree cut there. Now what you just saw, because I don't have the advanced technology to demonstrate to you from a frontal view there, that diagram there on the screen shows you exactly where you should aim your shaft and where you should aim on the object ball here. Now, one of the most important things that you guys need to do when you're in your practicing sessions and you're doing like ball pocketing drills, stuff like what I'm doing here, always practice on both sides of the table. Because if you get a lot of success on the left, when you switch to the right, then you're gonna find that sometimes your shot picture changes here. Now you're gonna see some missed shots, and we're gonna be looking at how and why these shots may miss. Now I just switched from cutting the ball to my right. Now I'm going to be cutting the ball to my left there, and here you can see on the replay here that the object ball catches the rail around the second diamond, missing it from the immediate contact there. So that's definitely something that can happen to you, because when you get down on this shot and you have a look at it, the perspective of what you're looking at, sometimes it feels as if you're going to be missing the object ball. But one thing you've got to do, guys, is that you have to trust the process, and you're gonna have to put these, because if these shots are not in your repertoire of skills, if you don't practice these kinds of shots, when they come up, you're gonna have a very difficult time in committing to what you're looking at there. And so once you aim it up properly here, you will find, like what you're seeing here on the replay, a very nicely clean cut here, object ball sliding down the rail. And pay also close attention to the direction of the cue ball, because that is also important when it comes to, after making these difficult putts, you still have to bear in mind that position play plays an important role. Now, very good advice and a pro tip that I got from watching past old videos on YouTube is that when you want to play at a consistently high level, and I'm not talking about in the pubs or with your friends, we're talking about aiming to becoming a professional player, you have to practice the shot until you don't know how to miss it. A lot of amateurs and intermediate players practice the shot until they make it, and so you have to test for consistency. Obviously, for the sake of the video, I won't be able to make 15 of these in a row, so I'm switching the sides of the table here, and I'm just trying to make the putt again from the other side, just testing for consistency. For this whole entire video, I'm going to be doing each shots 2 times on both sides of the table here, and that was a cleanly cut shot there. Now it did catch the rail a little bit early, which means that I cut it just about clean. If I was playing on a tighter pocket table or a bigger table, because I'm playing on an 8-foot table, you might find that the results are not so consistent. So it's very important, guys, that you practice. My pockets can hold about 1.5 balls, so it's a really big pocket. So when I miss, it means I miss really bad, and when I do make it, it means that I make it really well here. Now for the last time here, going on the other side, just to test for consistency, I'm aiming this the edge of my shaft to the edge of the object ball here, and this will give me a clinical, crucial, clean result like what you're seeing here at all times. Now remember, guys, when you get down on the table and you try to look at these shots, it's going to look a little bit weird. It's gonna feel weird. It's gonna feel like you're gonna be missing the object ball. So it's very important that you trust the system here, and this is how you find that Shane Van Boening will make some really thin cut shots and even some tough putts, guys. Now I want you to also pay close attention to this video, because I have a lot of videos coming out with 45-degree cut shots using this shaft aiming system mixed with the fractional ball aiming system here. Now I'm moving on down from a 45-degree cut shot to something a little bit thinner than a 30-degree cut. Now once you're aiming from the corner pocket towards the third diamond there, this becomes approximately 37.6 degrees cut here, and so this is almost like a 5/8 ball hit. Well, in fact it's a 3/8 ball hit. It's not completely a 30-degree. So you're gonna find here that sometimes when you get down and you try to putt it, because you're shooting from the corner pocket, oftentimes this shot can easily be overcut or undercut. So sometimes when you get down on this type of shot here, you'll get results like that where you hang the ball into the pocket, selling out the game to the opponent. So that's why it's very important that you guys put in the practice on the table. Now again, as I said, this is not exactly a 30-degree, so that means I'm gonna aim just maybe in between the center of my cue ball and the edge of my cue ball towards the edge of the object ball here. I know that it's probably a little bit difficult as I'm explaining theoretically, but if you guys have any idea about the system, you'll have a very good understanding of what is it that I'm saying here. I'm trying my best, guys, to use the resourceful graphics that I have here. Let's have a look at another attempt here. That one got a little bit close, and bear in mind, guys, that I was actually making this video in a public space, so I actually got distracted by the music, also by the patrons passing by, so I also got a little bit of bad result later on in the video, as you'll see. But this one here was cleanly cut here, just aiming not exactly a half ball cut. It's a little bit thinner than a half ball cut, so it's approximately about maybe a 3/8 cut here. So if you know what that feels like, guys, you're gonna get consistent result like that here. Of course, as I said, it's very important that you actually test this on both sides, because the shot picture will feel a little bit different. But once you have an idea of where on the shaft you should aim, what part of the shaft you should aim towards the edge of the object ball. The reference point on the object ball is always the edge, but it's which part of your shaft you're using to aim towards the edge that will give you consistent result here. And of course, that was very similar to the first miss shot that I got earlier, where it kind of overcut, because sometimes when you get down, it may feel like a 30-degree cut, like a half ball, and then when you do that, you oftentimes will miss the shot by overcutting. Now, when the shot is as tough as it is right now, where you're shooting from way into the corner pocket, if this is your last ball, I can tell you this shot will make you sweat. So you really have to get down on the table and you have to miss these shots to know what the miss feels like and where to adjust your body for the aim here. Now again, 3/8 ball cut. This means that I'm aiming just a little bit outside of the edge of the object ball here with the center of my shaft. So the center of my shaft just towards a little bit outside the edge here. Now that stroke was not clean. You can see that in mid stroke, as I shot the cue ball towards the object ball, I kind of felt the miss and watched my head rose there right even before the shot was completed. Also, that miss could be as a result of any unwanted side spin. Remember that when you get down and you're aiming this shot, it's easy for your brain to tell you that you're going to miss, and once you hear that little voice coming into your head that you're going to miss this shot, you most likely are going to miss. You've got to ensure that when you get down and you know that you have to use this section of your shaft to aim towards the edge of the object ball. You have to trust that where you're aiming and what you're aiming to is the exact thing, and you have to be very confident in your delivery. Now, as you can see here, I'm suffering from a little bit of distraction. Even though I popped that one pretty good here, you can kind of see here that it kind of grabbed the rail just a little bit there, and just because of how cleanly I struck the cue ball with the right speed, the pocket just basically swallowed the object ball